everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 203. We've got another episode of the Kansas Connection. So let's do this again. We'll go with, on the bottom of me is from New Zealand, Mr. Steve. How goes it?
Very good.
All
Good
right.
to see you, Dan.
Well, who cares? Diagonally from me right now is Kevin from the U.S. How's it going?
Hey everybody, everything's going good. I'm Sonic Boom TV.
And last time this guy was on a milk crate bottle, I don't even know how you call those there, but anyway, we paid the ransom. He's back. So, and of course, the other New Zealander here, Mr. Keith, or this guy.
Hey everybody.
How goes it?
Yeah, I'm all good.
See, I'm looking at your weather outside there, Keith. Right here, it's like dark. It's like it's been dark for an hour already. It's winter
Yeah,
here.
it's pretty dire. It's supposed to be summer, so we're in our third day of summer, but we haven't seen much of it so far.
Well, it's third day of winter here, I guess. I don't know. All right.
We don't get much of a winter.
What's that?
We don't get much of a winter here.
No? Here we do.
Yeah.
We're the opposite. We don't get much of a summer.
Really?
Not last year.
Wow. All right. Okay, so today's episode will be, we will decide our top 3 concept albums. I felt like this was a little tough to to get everybody to find some concept albums there, but some people realized they had some in their connection. They didn't realize it was a concept album, right, Kevin?
Yeah, but I didn't use those. I went with 3 that I recognize as concept albums.
From past episodes, I think we got, like, from your taste in music, I know you guys got certain albums that should make the top 3 there. So, all right, we shall start with this guy right here, Mr. Keith. What have you got for us here as your, let's say, third one? Oh, but by the way, a concept album, like I said, what is a concept album mostly?
Yeah, I was just gonna talk a little bit about.
Then
yeah,
you go ahead. Yeah. You go ahead. Tell us.
Well, it's a bit of a loose definition. When you actually look it up, it could just mean anything with an overall theme through it. And so what I've thought of for my first one, I'm doing a few wildcard ones, is this one here. It's the Styx. The Mission 16th album came out in 2017. The Mission. I know some of you guys have got the next one.
I have that.
Do you? Okay.
Did not know it was a concept album.
Yeah. Because
I think Styx is just a concept band.
True.
Yeah, I think you've got the next one, haven't you, Kevin? That Crash of the Crown.
Yeah, I've got that one too. Yeah. I've got that one and Crash of the Crown on vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah. So the overall idea behind this is it's a story. Tells the story of a mission to the planet Mars in 2033. So there's the rocket taking off. It's not a clear picture on there. I don't have the vinyl because it's super expensive. And even then on one of the logo, there's like a NASA type logo. With sticks, that sticks, but it's like a NASA type logo. So this is when Dennis DeYoung's sort of gone from the band ages probably ago. And the music is written by Tommy Shaw and Will Ivanovich. But just a twist in this that I like to do, and this fits in perfectly with the album, is before I play the whole thing and tells the story of like a mission going there and rescuing an outpost and all this sort of thing, I like to play a track from this album, Megadeth. The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. I don't know if you've thought of the track on this, if you know this album, but they've got a track on it called Mission to Mars.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a good track, and he sort of goes on, says like, I want to be an astronaut, you know, Mega Dave, I want to be an astronaut. And then I go into and play this Styx album here. So this is a good intro. It's all exciting. And then I play the entire album, and then right at the end they've got a song called Mission to Mars is like the final track on this.
So you need to arrange them to have a concert together, and Megadeth ends with
Exactly.
that song.
Exactly.
And then
like a split, you know. Dave could sing one of the songs, like there's a really good song on here, Radio Silence, be perfect. You know, all the exciting
go.
bits where there's like a Martian storm and things. He could do that really well. So that could come out for Record Store Day, I think.
there
You know,
you go.
split album. Sticks.
We need to call somebody.
Megadeth.
Styx and Megadeth live in concert. If that ever happens, I'll be there.
Everybody will be there.
Yeah. Kevin's got contacts in the music industry. I'm sure he can make this
Oh, yeah,
happen.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I do
And
have
just-
that album, Keith, and I love it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know it was a
Mm.
concept album.
Oh, yeah. The Mission. Yeah.
I found it
And-
used for $20.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
It's a good album. I like it. I really like it.
Good
It's
choice.
a bit different from what I listened to. Just
I was-
one final thing before I go.
Yeah.
With this choice, does anyone know what the fifth moon of Pluto was called? Any of you guys
Keith.
know your
What?
Keith.
does anyone know what the fifth moon of Pluto was called?
Styx?
Styx. That's right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Boom.
That was a total
Well done.
guess, though. That was a
That
total
was good.
guess.
Yeah, that was inspirational guess. Yeah.
There you
Nice
go.
one.
All right, good choice. Why don't we go to Kevin now?
All right. Mine, it's probably nobody going to match me on this one because I don't think anybody here likes this band besides me. But I went with American Idiot from Green Day. It was
That's
kind
a
of
concept
their-
album?
Huh? It is. It definitely is.
I did not know that.
It's kind of about this the aftermath of 9/11 and how this guy deals with that, who goes by the name of Jesus of Suburbia. So it's basically like a loser kid, you know, his life, and just this one kind of is their, for me anyway, is like their last good album. Everything after this has been not good. And I know a lot of people don't like them because they're too pop sounding, but I think Billy Joe Armstrong is probably one of the greatest pop songwriters of since the 90s. But after this, they started experimenting too much, and it just got weird to me. There's several songs on here that they break into different parts. So like the song Jesus of Suburbia has 5 parts, and there's a song that Homecoming has 5 parts as well. And it you hear it change into sound like a different song, but it's still the same song, you know. But it's a little political. I know everybody's heard the American Idiot song, and I remember when that came out, and like people I know were like, "Oh, I hate that band now" or whatever because they wrote that song. But you know, you gotta call it what it is. You know,
I'm baffled. I did not even know that was and I had it like a couple of days ago when we were trying to find, you know, like you were having a hard time finding, or not a hard. I wonder if I have any concept albums. I was like, well, too bad Green Day didn't have. I was gonna have a joke ready for that, and then you come out with that. I was like, they actually have a concept album.
yeah.
I'm completely floored and baffled about that one.
When you listen to it, I mean, you really probably wouldn't know that it was a concept album unless you started like reading the lyrics, you know, and then you're like, oh yeah, because it just kind of follows this guy, and it's basically his thoughts on the political situation in America and how the world sees us.
Wow.
And yeah, so I wasn't thinking of it either when this first came up, and then started like, okay, what do I really have? And I looked at all the lists that Steve sent, and I had like maybe 10 things on that whole list. And then I just started going through my Discogs and looking at all my albums and said, okay, what's this? And I came across that one, and I thought that would be a
Cool.
different selection for this.
No,
group.
very
And,
cool choice.
and I mean, it had hit songs too on it that
Yeah, it's very popular.
you wouldn't think were politically charged, except for American Idiot. But yeah, it had this is the one that has Wake Me Up When September's Gone, or when September ends, so everybody knows that song.
Maybe.
I think it was about
know
the
it.
death of his
Did you
father or something.
What's that?
From memory, I think he wrote that song because his father just passed or something.
Yeah,
like
that's what that one's about. If you've ever been in a mall, you've heard that song.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
They play that song everywhere.
Titles I don't know. Like I know that a lot of songs,
Yeah.
but as
It's
soon
a
as you say
slow
titles, at my age anymore, I'm having a hard time. So, good choice. I was not expecting
Thank
that at all. Good choice.
Good one.
Is that a musical? Was that turned into a musical? Or am I
Yes, it
just-
was.
Yeah.
That one and the next album that they did was also a musical too, and I don't know why they did that, but besides money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
They're the kind of band you wouldn't expect to do a concept album, sort of. But
No.
No.
No, and then they recently they've gotten political, starting with that, but they used to not be at all. It just was pop punk.
yeah,
Heavily on the pop.
yeah.
Wow. All right. All right, Mr. Steve, what you got for us?
All right. Well, I'm going to get this one in before Dan does. So I have a feeling he might be. He might show this one. And talking about bands that you wouldn't expect to do a concept album, this one I think is probably one. They'd started to get a little bit more serious on their previous album, but their first three albums are, they're sort of they're very much the sort of LA hair metal kind of lyrics. But yeah, I'm going to go for Wasp and the Crimson Idol. And I did happen to notice on Dan's Instagram feed that he was playing it the other day or yesterday. So
I wonder why.
yeah, and he did hear. Yeah, so there we go. So, but this is like one of my favorite albums of all time. So when Dan first mentioned the idea of talking about a concept albums, this is the first one pretty much that came to mind. And yeah, I'm a big Wasp fan. I love all their albums pretty much. Some better than others, obviously. This is one of their better ones. And the funny thing about this one too is when I first heard it, I was like, okay, I don't know, because it's quite different. And they've still got the Wasp sound, but it just takes a little bit of getting used to it. So it's a more mature album, lyrically definitely more mature and interesting. But still, great songs. Of course, Chris Holmes has left at this point, and it's pretty much. I think initially even it was going to be a Blackie Lawless solo album, and the record company said, "Oh, no, let's just put Wasp on it," because it basically is. They've got I think Bob Kulick comes in and does guitar on it. Frankie Banali's on the drums. So there's a whole lot of guys just get basically called into the band to be the band. But it's it's all Blackie's efforts. Really, he's the man. And they did it. They even did a like a mini movie for this as well. And so yeah, it recorded. It took them a long time to record it. Must have been quite a lot of money put into this, and an album that at the time didn't do very well. But it's 1992, so probably had a bit to do with it. But yeah, and it's kind of the story. The story I guess is about this. I'm not exactly completely on. I'm terrible with concept albums of knowing the actual story, but I think it's basically like Blackie has said. It's not based on him, but you can imagine it. There's perhaps some elements of it that relate to his life. This guy who basically has a family that sort of disowns him, or isn't very happy with his life choices. Goes off, becomes a rock star, and but his parents kind of disown him or something like that, and he ends up killing himself at the end. But but no, it's a great album, really good. And there's a couple of bonus tracks as well that are really good as well. And it got reissued, I think, a few years ago, and they re-recorded it. But this is the original. It's probably the best one. Yeah.
Maybe more on that one later, but
yeah.
I do like that album a lot, and but I prefer the ballads, believe it or not. The Idol
Right.
and Hold On to Your Heart. I was like, wow, they can actually. But anyway, yeah, that's maybe more on that later there. But did you get my message yesterday? I sent you there, Jonathan. I'd like you to meet a friend of mine, Tanya.
Dan, I just thought Dan's sent this message to the wrong person, so I just ignored it. I didn't.
That's
But he's
from
got
that
the-
album.
Oh, so like
Come on, you must know what I'm
idea
talking about.
really about
You've
what's
lost the
happening in
plot.
concept albums. I'm just
For this
enjoying
to
the
be your
music.
favorite album of Wasp, yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
guy
no,
must
no.
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What is this message? Saying, I'll just ignore it.
Yeah. Crazy
Oh
person.
my god, there's a reason I message people. I don't. If I message you guys by mistake, I'm gonna fucking delete it. Let me put it that way. But yeah, it's like that little one sentence, like, "Hey, you want to be on a Wasp album? Okay, yeah, just read this one sentence." Anyway, it just makes me laugh every time that sentence because that's her only line in the album there. Anyway, good choice. I love that album. My third one, I'm gonna go, which wasn't on your list actually, and I had to ask my
Wow.
friends, "Is this a concept album? Yes or no?" And it was yes all around. So I'm gonna go with Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh
Good
Son.
choice. Yeah.
Like Steve, I'm not big on the story behind, like, not. I don't know what the story is. That's what I mean there. Like, I don't. I enjoy the music more than the story, but I believe when this was starting to be recorded, it wasn't even meant to be a concept album. It was just like, oh, you wrote a song about that? That kind of matches my story that I'm saying on this song. And oh my God, we're making a concept album. So, but yeah, I remember when I first heard this, I was like, to me, this is it's one of my favorite Maiden albums, first of all. It's based on a book also called Seventh Son. I forget by who. I read up on it earlier. Should have written it down, but I did not. But yeah, it's like this kid that's born with powers, and from what I get the gist of it there, and anyway, this whole, it doesn't sound like a concept album, but like the way it begins and the way it ends, if you guys know exactly what I'm talking about with that little
I do, yeah.
acoustic, I thought that was brilliant, by the way.
Mm.
But yeah, this goes for my third concept album, Iron Maiden, Seventh Son. First time they inserted keyboards also in their albums, which was, to me, this is the last good album they did. But was the attendance was starting to slowly. I wished I had seen this in the day, but I did not there. But yeah, number 3 for me, Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and I love this album artwork. By the way, there you go.
It's probably the one I've played the most over the years. It was the one that I started on with Iron Maiden. I just had a cassette, and I'd even play it when I was going to sleep, and it'd just send me off into a big, happy sleep pattern. But the song "Can I Play with Madness," a lot of people are sick of that song. It's just heard it to death, but I still don't mind it.
I like it.
It's not the one that I'll go to when I'm
actually the one I'm
sick
sick and tired of is the one they keep playing live, "The Evil That Men Do." I'm like, okay, you know what? Enough. Like, there's a lot of better songs to me there, but yeah.
Deeper cuts. Yeah.
Yes. All right, Mr. Keith, what do you got for number 2 here?
Yep, my second choice is the second album by Mastodon, released in 2004. It's called Leviathan. Big sea creature there, big white whale. So this is a progressive metal concept album, and it's based on, you could probably guess from the cover which book. I don't know if they made you read that book in school or anything. But
Moby Dick?
Moby Dick, yeah.
Or Free Willy? I don't know. The novelization.
Yeah, it could be Free Willy. Just take your pick. But I did do a little bit of research to find out when the book came out, 1851, a Herman Melville book. I've never read it, but anyway, you know the story.
Yeah.
You know the story. So the whole theme is sort of vengeance, and it's like a symbolic, pointless quest for Ahab to try and land this big creature, and he's just in a boat, so it's not going to happen, is it? Really? So one of the songs on it, you may have heard because they use it in a lot of movie productions, and it's got a bomb riff in it through it, a really good riff, and it's called Blood and Thunder. And they might use that in a climactic scene in a movie because it's just exciting. It's got a really good riff based on it, type thing. And there's also another singer appears on the song I just sang, Neil Fallon from Clutch. He does some backing vocals. And so there's a lot of crazy stuff of just like the drunken captain yelling at the crew to, all men on deck to try and land this thing. But it's like a big elemental sea creature, and it's going to smash the boat up, and cool artwork on that as well. So yeah, that's my number 2, Leviathan, Mastodon. But my favorite song, I'd say, isn't the ones that people know, but it's a 13-minute song on here called Hearts Alive. And so this album is sort of known for the great virtuosity of the whole band. They just all comes together. It was a lot different from things that were happening at the time, and people got onto this album because just the great musicianship on it, and it was just different from what was out at the time. It's really,
Cool.
Nice album, good album. Yeah.
I don't own any Mastodon. I can't tell if it's a good choice or a bad choice. So
Yeah.
I only know the songs that SAR, and I've seen these guys live.
Okay.
Never.
I have
They're all
one
good
of the-
musicians. So one of the albums is supposed to there's about 4 albums, and they all go about one's about earth elements, that one's about water elements. There's about 4. It's sort of like a connecting theme, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard a lot of them, but I do go to that.
I'm
album quite a
intrigued
bit.
by those guys. I just never every suggestion band that I hear every day on my channel, I'm like, I'll be friggin'
Yeah.
broke. So
you can't get everything, but I just try
Yeah.
and listen to a bit of a
one
wide
day I'll
range
get
of
a
things.
Mastodon one. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
I have cracked
Yeah.
this-
which one?
I like Clutch, and I know that Neil's, like you said, you mentioned Neil does guest vocals on one of the songs, and they're quite a similar band, like Mastodon and Clutch. There's some similarities there, I think.
Yeah, Clutch is a good band. I like them too.
Yeah.
I like their latest.
Yeah.
What were you saying there, Kev? You have what?
I have Cracked the Sky by
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't really get into them too much. They're a little bit I don't know, like doomy sort of. I guess that's the word.
Hmm.
But I do like the artwork that they have on their album. I've seen a lot of
Yeah,
their
it's
albums.
amazing. Hmm.
They have some great artwork on their album.
They do. Yeah.
So if I could find them cheap, I'll buy them for that alone. But the one I got, I actually won it on my friend used to do a Facebook raffle thing, and everybody paid like $2, and then
Yeah.
they picked the name, and I won, so I got the Mastodon one.
Nice. Well, since you're talking there, might as well give us your second choice there, Kevin.
All right, my second choice. Got to get it off the floor. Okay, so I have a CD and a record of this, and I'm only showing the CD because the cover I think is better for me. So, My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade. The CD has a slip cover. Is it on the screen? And it's got the big logo and everything. And then this is what's on the actual cover on inside of the thing. So it's a fold out Black
Wow.
Parade. It's great artwork. But I don't know
It
why
is,
they
yeah.
I don't know why they didn't put the slipcover on this. I guess because it was a reissue, maybe, and they decided to save some money. I don't know. But this is basically story of a guy who's dying of cancer, and it kind of retells his life. And I know everyone's heard the "Welcome to the Black Parade" song. It's there was an internet meme that it was these people that were in a video, and it was like you could name the song in how many beats or whatever, and they were like, oh, the most you could do is 3 or whatever, and then you hear the one piano stroke on this one, and everybody knows, oh shit, that's the only song in the world that you could hear in one note that you would be able to identify. And if you hear it, if you know it, you know that's probably true. But it had several hits. "Welcome to the Black Parade," "Teenagers," "The End," which is actually the first song. And I guess because he dies at that point, and then it goes back and tells his life or whatever. But I when I first heard this, nobody I knew listened to this band, and I was like, that's gonna be really popular. And they're like, oh no, that's just emo crap or whatever. And I said, okay, give it a couple of months, and sure enough, it was everywhere. So
I know the name. That's about it. Maybe I've heard songs. I just
you would know the Black Parade song.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, I'll check it out.
That one. It was played a lot.
It's one of their best songs. Yeah.
Yeah. They I mean, I have all their albums, and each album has maybe 2 or 3 songs that I really like, and the rest is okay. This album, I like the entire thing all the way through.
Yeah.
All right. Again, was not expecting that. I was for sure we're gonna get some duplicates here, but we'll see.
Well, my number one, if we don't get a duplicate on that one, I'll be shocked.
All right. Mr. Steve.
All right. Just going back to My Chemical Romance. Was that their? Because I actually got their first album. I think it was their first album. Like, I was into them. Well, not into them, but I was aware of them in like 2001 when they put out "If You Gave Me the Bullets" or something like. "If You Give Me the Bullets."
Yeah.
Something
Actually,
like that.
It's right here, probably.
Yeah.
That's Life on the Murder Scene. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, I was actually going to say something. Someone finally fucking fixed their alarm. And now I just realized.
I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
My alarm. I brought you my bullets. You brought me your
that's
love.
the one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was really hard to find too. For a while, that first album, super rare. Now it's not.
I couldn't find them until they reissued them.
Yeah.
And Walmart had several of them, and I bought them all up from there. And they only had one album after the Black Parade, and it wasn't as good. Kind of goofy, actually.
So have they split up now? Have they?
They did, and then they kind of hinted that they were getting back together, and they put out this terrible song, and everybody seemed to love it, except it was just terrible. and that was it. And I saw something last night. It was kind of funny because I was, making sure this was going to be on my list, and I saw this video pop up, and it's Gerard Way, the singer, and he looks like this black metal guy, and he's, of course, fatter than he used to be, and I was like, what in the hell is he doing? So I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to get back together.
Do you know the band Mindless Self-Indulgence?
I have a cassette of one song that I got in the mail. Like, I used to be subscribed to a magazine or something, and with one of the issues, they put a Mindless Self-Indulgence cassette in the magazine, and it just had one song.
Yeah, I think one of the members of that band is like married to Gerald, the singer from, or they're in a relationship or something. But I don't know. Anyway, that's my knowledge of My Chemical Romance. Yeah.
Well, get on.
That is almost interesting. There, no.
Yeah, it was almost, but yeah.
Hey, we wasted 5 minutes, right?
Yeah. I should just talk about what I actually know about, right? Yeah.
Random
Okay.
facts.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
go ahead,
yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Steve.
And it's all very vague, very vague.
What would John Parr do?
Yeah. I'll do better with this one, hopefully. Now, so my choice, it's actually fairly recent release. Well, recent in regards. We're not going back to the 80s or 90s. So this is, I think initially it came out. It's hard to see the because it got reissued, but it might be 2011. But this is Within Temptation and The Unforgiven. So these Within Temptation is sort of, well, they kind of get put in the symphonic metal category, but they're really more. I'd actually say they're pop metal. They're quite pop. Pop. They're hard rock. And there is symphonic, and Sharon the singer's got quite a sort of operatic type voice, a little bit like Nightwish, but not as metal. Basically, a lot more pop. I don't know. This could be like their fourth album, I think. But I mean, I really like them. I've got, it might even be their fifth album. I haven't got their first album, but I've got, got their second album, and this was their third album, fourth album. So I've got them, they've just put them all out on vinyl. I think this is an original. This came out at the time, but then the other ones initially weren't put out on vinyl and then got reissued. This one probably came out on vinyl when it and actually this could be a reissue. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's only this one here. It says it's limited edition of 500, I think. So yeah, limited edition of 5,000. Yeah, so yeah, still pretty limited. And it's based on a comic, basically. So again, don't ask me the story. I don't know, but it's based on a well-known comic, and it's quite a nice package actually, because it comes with the lyric sheets. Well, you get like a little you get this card here with a nice little cartoon picture there, but the lyrics are kind of like a cartoon kind of comic book type thing. But yeah, and they're really good. Like for me, they're a very consistent band. Like they just put out a new album just a few weeks ago, which is really good. Really good. If you like that sort of sound, they're worth checking out. But like I say, I can't tell you too much about the story. But it is a concept album, and maybe they're comic book fans. I'm not sure, but and I'm assuming they got the artist from the comic book to do the art. I would assume so. There we go. Within Temptation and The Unforgiven.
Where are they from?
I think it might be
Europe.
I'm starting to get a bit vague again here. Some European country.
Yeah, it's a European country.
Yeah, European, definitely.
It's on planet Earth, right? Yeah.
Planet Earth. Okay, that's good. No, because I never heard of it.
They opened for, so I technically saw them. I mostly heard them live because I was in lineup to buy a fucking shirt for Iron Maiden, and it took all of Within Temptation's set for me to get through the lineup, just to tell you how long that lineup was for a fucking shirt. So I heard them, but never saw them, I guess. Saw the ending when she was waving her. Actually, I could actually tell you what country they're from if I'd paid attention to the flag she was waving at the end.
Well, yeah, they're Dutch. So Denmark. Yeah. So I think. Yeah. So yeah. I googled it, but yeah.
Well, there you go. All right. Good choice. I guess I don't know them that well there, so. But all right, my number 2. Surprised this hasn't come up yet there, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it before it pops up. So I'm gonna go with Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime. I still remember to this day reading a Circus. There you go. Reading a Circus magazine in the top 20 songs. I don't remember if it was of all time or that year, but I Don't Believe in Love. I was like, every band I knew, it was of all time actually, because there was some Led Zeppelin on there. And like, I Don't Believe in Love. I'm like, by Queensryche. Who the hell is this here? There you go. Yeah. So I bought the album just because I Don't Believe in Love was in on a list of top songs ever. and not even close to being my favorite song on this album. Like when I heard this, I was like, wow, this is smart metal. An RTX, an RTX or an RTX, I forget. Revolution Calling is one of my faves. The whole thing is just good. I personally think it kind of went all downhill slowly after this one here, but yeah, this album is great. And I've actually asked my friends what the story is behind this, and it's a lot of them is like it's very complicated story, so I'm not really sure what this. Do you know what it is about? Tell us.
Yeah. Well, it's not my turn yet, so we'll wait till we get to my turn.
Oh, okay, well, so it's gonna come back. Okay, well, but yeah, it's but I friggin' love that album, whether I understand the concept behind it or not. This whole album there, yeah. So that's my second one right there.
And it's got Dio on it.
No, that's Operation Mindcrime 2.
So next one.
Oh,
Yeah, next
Oh,
one.
two of them.
is he not talking on that one? Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
Oh no.
He
Ah,
sings a song on the Operation Mindcrime 2, which is not as
Terrible.
good as the
Right.
first one.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's probably where I'm getting confused with two. Yeah.
I had bought it at the time, then I sold it again because I was like, what the hell is this? Anyway. All right, Mr.
Mm.
Keith.
Okay, this one, since we're getting close to Christmas, I thought of this one might be appropriate, and you might think ahead of what I'm going to do and think where I'm going with this. But first off, I'll just show you one of my favorite Sabotage
You bastard!
albums. No, wait. Just wait a minute. The Streets. Okay, so this one is the story about the rise and fall of DT Jesus. So on here, you've got the producer, Paul O'Neill. And of course, he went on to form another band in 1996, and he's the producer, composer, and lyricist. And the one, my choice, is Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Never heard of them.
And the album is
I'm joking,
Beethoven's
Kevin.
Last Night. I know.
Three
I
times
know.
live.
Yeah, I bet you have. Yeah. So this is Beethoven's Last Night. There he is there.
Yeah.
So, of course, like I'm saying about Christmas albums, they're known for their Christmas shows and that, but this is the sort of anomaly in their catalog where it's got another theme, another concept. And of course, he roped in John Oliva. I know you're a fan of him like I am, Dan.
Yeah.
And Al Petrelli from Sabotage for this one.
Yeah.
And that. So that was released in 2000. And it just talks about the last night of Beethoven's life, and the devil appears to collect his soul, and the devil tries to make a deal with him. So it's a rock opera type thing. And it's got rock songs based around the classical music and melodies from classical music and a lot of Beethoven's, classical melodies and that. But it was really interesting to listen to how they've tried and merge both things. I think it's really clever. There's a big whole story, like in this booklet, there's a massive long story, and it all, like, pages and pages of it, and then it all works in with each song. And one of the cool things I like about it is they've got John Oliva. His part that he does is the devil, and he does a real good Mephistopheles in it. He's the perfect guy to do it, really. So it's got Chris Caffrey and Johnny Lee Middleton on bass. Like I said, Paul O'Neill, Al Petrelli, and another guy called Jeff Plate on drums. So the song on here, Requiem the Fifth, is like a classical track, and then there's lots of rock guitars in it, and it's something different to hear. Like, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are about when you've got like rock bands and they try to go all symphonic. Do you like it or not? Like Metallica did S&M, and I know Deep Purple did. Do you like that sort of thing or not?
I love it.
Yeah, it works sometimes. I think. I want to
Yeah,
ask: is Kelly Keeling on that? The guy from Baton Rouge?
I'll have a look because there's a list about as long as your arm
it's
of different people. Where
anybody.
is it?
Did you guys ever see Trans-Siberian Orchestra live?
No, I
It's
have one of their albums. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's that one or a different
it's like nothing.
It's got Jody
It literally
Ashcroft.
brings a tear to my eye. I loved it so much. Let me put it that way. Great show. Go ahead. Sorry, Keith.
Oh no, I couldn't find that name that Kevin was talking about. It's got Jody
Yeah.
Ashcraft and
Yeah,
I think he might. I think Kelly might be doing the live shows now, but possibly wasn't on the
They
album.
have a lot of the singer from what was his name there? The singer that replaced John Oliva is part of Trans-Siberian Orchestra also, and I saw him live. I forget his name.
Zach Stevens, I think.
Zach Stevens, exactly.
Yeah.
But he's got like a background vocal part, like if you know what I mean there.
Mm.
Well,
But
I know they tour with different people. Like there's two different versions of
exactly,
it. Going on at the
there's
same
two
time.
bands,
Yeah.
and they usually tour in the November, December, and
Right.
it's mostly in the States, sometimes Canada. That's how I saw them 2 or 3 times. One band does the West Coast, the other band does the East Coast.
Yeah.
So Chris Caffrey and Jeff Plate usually do the East Coast, which is the version I saw. Johnny Lee Middleton and Al Petrelli usually do the West Coast. I've never seen that version before. But they all play at the same time, so there's usually a TSO playing, like, let's say December 1st on the West Coast, and the East Coast same day, just different band, but same show.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see when they did like the Wacken Festival and they did half Trans-Siberian.
I saw that.
Yeah, and they did
hoping
half
that gets
Sabotage.
released on
Yeah.
DVD. Loved it.
that'd,
Yeah, but
that'd be
shit,
awesome.
shit
Yeah,
quality there on YouTube, whatever.
yeah. It doesn't
Like
sound
this
too good.
this show here, which is high quality. Yeah. All right, Kevin, what you got for your third one? All right,
Queensryche.
Tell us the
Operation
story.
Firecrime. I don't know if you guys have heard of this one.
Can we do a full show?
there we go. Everybody's got one there.
Everybody, and I don't have it on vinyl. The funny thing is,
Yeah.
I went to the record store one day and they had their first 5 albums and the EP all on vinyl. And I was there for something else that I really wanted, and I said I'm going to come back next week and get some of those. They were all gone, and I've never seen them in the store again. And I looked them up online, and it was a little more expensive. So I'm like, I don't know. So I just have the CD, and I don't have any of their albums on vinyl yet. But I was a fan of them since the very beginning, since the first EP came out. And I thought everything they did, even Empire, I know a lot of people don't like Empire. I thought all of that was great. And then after that, downhill. They started fighting with each other and kicking people out of the band, and and they started getting to be more of like a progressive rock kind of thing. And then they did Operation Violent Crime 2, which was absolutely horrible. But anyway, this one is one. If I put this on, I'm dedicating the next 65 minutes of my life or whatever to it. I'm listening to the whole thing, no stops, nothing. It's been one of my favorite albums of all time. It might be my favorite heavy metal album. I've loved every second of it. But if you don't know what the story is, there's this guy who's a drug addict who gets brainwashed by the Order, whoever they may be, to be a hitman. And he's goes to kill a political figure, I guess, as well as a priest and a prostitute who are doing things they shouldn't be doing.
That sounds like the beginning of a joke.
Right.
Priest.
Well, yeah. And so that's what it is. It's basically
walking
the
to a
story
bar.
of this guy, like, he gets a phone call and whatever they say triggers what's in his brain to set him off to become this hitman. And he goes out and does what he does, and then at the end he remembers who he is and what he's done and all that, which is the I Remember Now song. It's can't see my titles are so small, but there's that part where he's just like the music stops and he's like, I remember now.
Yeah, that's the beginning part. I remember now. I
Yeah,
remember.
oh
how
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
started.
And then but at the
I
end they
remember
do it again.
yesterday.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
at the end it happens again.
Right.
Yeah,
He couldn't remember what happened, but then at the very end they go into that again where you hear that trail off and then he does remember. So that's
Yeah.
basically what it's about. It's a guy that gets brainwashed, set to assassinate somebody, as well as the priest and the prostitute who knows something. And there you go. And that's Dr. X.
Yeah.
But again, that's yeah, much better on yours. I wish I had the vinyl of it. But definitely one of my favorite albums of all time.
Great one.
There you go.
All right, Mr. Steve.
all right. My one is going back to the 80s now. This is Phenomena. So Phenomena number 1, and there's also a Phenomena number 2. In fact, I think there's a 3. I know there's a 3. There might even be a 4. But I sort of stopped after 2. I've only got numbers 1 and 2. So basically, this is put together by a guy called Tom Galley, and he's the brother of Mel Galley from Whitesnake. He was in the old version of Whitesnake, and basically, it's I think the original idea was for it to possibly be a movie, but sort of like a sci-fi horror type movie. That's the storyline, I think. But there's lots of big names on this. So it's got Glenn Hughes on this one. Glenn Hughes does most of the vocals, the first one. But then on the second one, which is my favorite one, they've got Glenn Hughes does vocals, but then there's also there's a guy called Max Bacon, but also Ray Gillen, who goes on to be in Badlands. He was for a short period of time, of course, in Blue Murder and Black Sabbath, and didn't record with them, but so so he does, I think, 3 or 4 songs in there on this one. Ray Gillen does the vocals, and they're the best songs. So really good, really good hard rock. This is Phenomena 2, Dream Runner. The first one has a good song on it called Still of the Night, which is a song that Glenn Hughes originally did with the Hughes Thrall album. So that was originally done for that album, and it wasn't put on the album, so it's kind of like a leftover track. So they put it on this one, and it's a really good song. Neil Murray's on here as well, and on this one, and the guy from Val Wow, Koyoshi Yamamoto.
That guy.
He's on here. Yeah, he,
Kyoshi,
you know him, Ben? Yeah,
Kyoshi.
that guy. Yeah. He's on here, and he ends up. That's how he ends up recruiting Neil Murray to be in Val Well from this hookup, and but no, it's really good. I was quite surprised. I didn't think I'd really like it because I don't know who's this guy Tom Galley, and what how does he get all these well-known people? But it's actually really good, and of course I am a big Ray Gillen fan, and surprisingly enough, the Ray Gillen songs are the best. And this is from the Dream Runner Phenomena 2. This is the insert. It's probably hard to see, but it's got pictures of everyone in there. Worth checking out. It's really just good 80s hard rock, really good. And like I say, I think
heard of that.
Yeah, no, that it goes up to at least number 4. I think there's definitely in the part 4. I think. But,
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out because I've never.
Yeah.
And it's
and big names on there.
stuff I would like.
Glenn Hughes, Neil Murray, some quite big names. Some you would. Oh, John Wetton, he does vocals on one. Scott Gorham, he's on here as well. So some familiar names. But yeah.
Wow. Okay. Good choice, I guess. But you've piqued my curiosity. That's what counts, right? All right. My first choice, well, we'll go with this here. Easily my favorite. Actually, I even have a narrated version on CD. Where every song had, like how Jesus Saves starts. You have that one also there, Keith?
Yep. And it's got a couple of extra songs here.
Yeah.
I've got the
Larry Elbows. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Believe is a great song.
But Believe. Oh my God. That's one of my favorite Sabotage songs ever. I absolutely almost the same story as Wasp, The Crimson Idol, which is about a rock star, his rise and fall. I mean, loosely based. I mean, theme wise, the same one as, but this was a flop for them. But it's one of those albums that you have to kind of listen to as a whole, not just a song there. They had the video for Jesus Saves. Have you heard the original version of Jesus Saves? Not at all the same, man.
No, haven't.
It's but yeah, this I don't know. I find this beautiful, and I use the word like it's a beautiful sounding album from A to Z. Slow, heavy, rock. It's got everything. But mind you, this came after Gutter Ballet, which was like a good, and then this kind of flopped. But it's one of those albums you just got to listen to as a whole. Again, has something to do with a rock star, his rise and fall. Don't ask me the whole story, what it means. I'm not exactly sure there, but I got the reissue. There's the, sadly, would be John Oliva's last album with until he came back there. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Streets, a Rock Opera, as my favorite concept album. But there you go, yeah. All right.
Dan, why did you say Jesus Saves, the original version? Is there
There's two versions. So if you get, let me just see if I can find it right here. Give me 1 second here. You'll see. Well, actually, Keith's got the picture there. But yeah, it's a slower. So the version you see, you have of the video, Jesus Save. The video we've all seen at the time. But there's another version which kind of I don't even know how to. It's very acoustic-y. An acoustic, slow, heavy rocker, if that makes any sense there. It has not, like, it doesn't sound at all like the first one. The lyrics are sort of the same, but there's a different version. I mean, it's worth checking out once on YouTube to see how it sounds like. But it was the studio saying, yeah, we kind of need that first hit, not a single, but a heavy song. Like the whole album was way too slow. So it went from a slower song to the Jesus Saves that we know, which is very epic metal, I guess there. So yeah.
Because like you can get the vinyl versions, but if you get the reissue CD versions, they usually have like you're saying, Dan, they've got acoustic tracks. Like on another CD version of one of the Sabotage albums, it's got an acoustic version of Believe, and I like it better than the one on this one. So if you're a completist, you just
This is the, see, there's a different the narrated version right here.
Narrated version.
So this has the original version of Jesus Saves, and I was like, again. But every song, at the beginning of Jesus Saves, there's that little sketch. Well, this version has a little sketch before every song.
Right.
It's worth it to find out how Jesus Saves evolved from a slower paced ballad to the rocker we all know.
I don't know it.
We don't know it. Yeah.
It does.
I don't know any Sabotage songs.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's, if you try to YouTube it, you'll probably get the video, but you have to specify the original version, I guess. There, so
That'll
It's
be my
okay, Kevin.
homework.
It's okay, Kevin. It's like when you were talking about that Chemical Romance song that everyone knows. I could see Dan going, "Huh? I don't know that one."
I'll check it out after, and then I'll let you know if I know.
All right,
that.
I'll do the Sabotage homework. You do My Chemical Romance.
All right. I'm not saying that you'll know what the Sabotage is, but I'm just saying that there's a version everybody know who listened to Headbangers Ball or Power Hour.
Oh, I know I know the band. I don't know any of the songs. I mean maybe I do, and I just don't know that I know them.
You
But
absolutely know Sarajevo, whatever the song is. Dun,
Okay.
dun, 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 that what started Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
oh well, then there you go.
But that's
I'm
a
a longtime fan.
Sabotage song that Trans-Siberia Orchestra re-recorded.
Then
How
I'm a
many
long
people
time
know
fan.
that?
That's all there is.
There you go. All right. Got any honorable mentions there, Mr. Keith?
Oh, yes.
We'll do them all at one shot there. Was that a Beatles
The
album?
Wall.
Oh, The Wall.
The Wall. Yeah.
I have that. Yeah.
Yeah. I just like how it's one of my favorite pieces of music where there's the sound of like a Spitfire crashing, the Roger Waters' father, Spitfire crashing or something. And then it goes into the scream of the baby. That just sounds of a baby being born. That's just one of my favorite pieces of music. Next one, quickly show you Halloween. Keepers of the Seven
Yeah, I
Keys,
got
Part
that.
1. Another good one. This is Gravedigger, Tunes of War. It's all about Scottish history. So there's like bagpipes, and then there's rock music too. All that. This is one of their better ones. Lots of battle stuff in it. Lots of historical figures like Robert the Bruce, and that's another one. That's like they do a Middle Ages trilogy with a lot of stuff about Excalibur, but yeah, they do good symphonic metal.
Cool.
And last one, Trivium. This is called Shogun. So this is another one that's got about the feudal times in Japan. All the warlords fighting each other, and they do big black metal. I'll take their fucking heads and all this sort of screaming and stuff in it, but we're battles. And if you're interested, also there's going to be a Shogun. They're going to do the Shogun miniseries again, TV series. It looks really good on YouTube because I like all that samurai head slicing stuff. And that's it.
Cool.
Done.
Kevin.
Okay, well, mine are two live albums based off of what I've already shown. First one, we've got Green Day, Bullet in the Bible, which is the basically the same album live with a few additional hits from the past.
Yeah.
So it's not completely a concept live album, but it fits. It's basically American Idiot live. It's got most of that and plus a few extra songs. And then the other thing, I got this. I remember when it came out, I had to have it. I walked 5 miles to the mall to get it, and then I took a cab home because I was like, "There's no way I'm walking 5 miles back home." But I didn't have a car at the time, and that would be the Operation Live Crime box set, and to show you how old I am, and I guess you guys may be too.
Long box.
I'm gonna open a long
VHS.
box with this long sheet and a VHS
Oh boy, yeah.
concert. It hasn't been played in probably 20 years, but it's the Operation Live Crime album live.
I remember when that came out. Yeah.
And for somehow this got cracked right here, and it upsets me because I have no idea how it happened. So I don't know if somebody came into my room and dropped it or something when I was younger. I don't know. But one day I picked it up and I was like, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
But it's the whole album. There's nothing extra. It's just live.
Cool. Good choice. Yeah, I like that one. Steve.
Yeah, that's cool. I'd quite like them to reissue that Live Crime on vinyl, eh?
I think that they put out another version of that that's different than this one. Like recorded in a different place. Because I remember seeing a video one time, and he says something about like where they are, like to the crowd, and it's not where because this says it was recorded in Madison, Milwaukee, and La Crosse, Wisconsin. And the other one, I think, when he mentions the name, they're like in South America somewhere. So I think there's more than one version of this, but that's the original.
Yeah. All right. Well, my honorable mention. I actually didn't know this was a concept album, but it came up on the list that I sent you guys in case you needed some help. So I thought, well, this is a one for consideration because I really like this album, and you might be able to tell me whether it is or isn't a concept album, Dan, because I know you like this particular artist. Alice Cooper and Raise Your Fist and Yell.
I saw that on the list. Yeah. It's like those last three songs, yes.
You can admit, well, that's right. Well, the Roses on White Lace and Gale, they go together.
And Chop, Chop, Chop.
And Chop, Chop, Chop. Yeah, right. Yeah. But
apparently it's about a serial killer. I saw that on the list. I was like, okay, that's...
Yeah. I mean, it definitely could be a soundtrack to a horror movie, couldn't it? Because everything's pretty much...
Actually, Prince of Darkness is on that album, right?
Yeah, that's right. And that was in a horror movie. It was
you
the
guys ever
track.
see the movie Prince of Darkness?
Yeah.
Alice Cooper's
the guy
in it.
Gets impaled with a bicycle by Alice Cooper as a bum.
Yeah.
He's listening to Prince of Darkness on his Walkman.
Yeah. But the opening track, Freedom, is actually about the PMRC and artists having their right for freedom and stuff like that. So it doesn't necessarily, I don't know how cohesive it all is, but I thought that was interesting.
A lot of his Alice Cooper's albums are like not concept but theme related, I find. Not necessarily a story, but a lot of big themes.
Yeah, and he changes genres quite a bit, I guess to, and then that can match the theme a little bit too. But and actually I was wondering, Keith, isn't that Goblin Cock? Isn't that concept album?
I think it probably could. I think I've got it there. I'll just have a quick look in a minute.
No, yeah, just have a look, see if you can find it, because
oh my god,
no,
I'm not going to the store looking for Goblin Cock again. I'm not doing it.
Oh, he's got it ready already. How convenient.
I think this was the plan.
Evil Dead. Do you want to borrow it, Steve?
Yeah, can I borrow it for have a look for a minute?
Yeah, you guys can actually go walk over to each other's house there. Are you fucking kidding me? You went and bought it?
I knew it. I knew they set us up. That's funny.
Well, I'm not sure it's a concept album, but it's good to have. Good to have. I might give it a listen later.
Kevin,
I gotta tell you,
have some homework to do, I guess, right?
That's freaking...
I don't even know how to. Oh my god. Okay.
Mind blown.
You never have too much Goblin Cock.
No.
I can see it now. In 2 weeks, I'm going to the record store and I'm going to say, "Do you have any Goblin Cock?"
Well, I've got the first part. Yeah. Anyway.
And that's my honorable mention.
All right. Well, my honorable mention, just Steve's talked about it. Beautiful album, great album. The reason it didn't make my top 3 is because the drums kind of annoy me after a while. It's just drum roll after drum roll after drum roll after drum roll. But I love, when I say love, the ballads, The Idol and Hold On to My Heart. What great songs. Like, wow. So yeah, Wasp, The Crimson Idol. I'm going to have to give some love to my boys here that are playing their last show tonight, but Kiss, The Elder. I got to be in the mood for this. I got to be in the mood. But, and I have to be in the mood in the wintertime. This is not a summer album, I find. But, yeah. So, I played this today. It's different. Hats off to doing something different. I'll give him that there. So, not all of it is good, but show some love here. Music.
I've tried to find that mood, Dan, but I don't know what that mood is. I haven't found it yet.
You need
The Oath is
snow
good.
for some reason. I don't know. I find it works in the winter time with a full glass, I guess. Of,
Maybe that's
try it out
yeah,
then.
yeah.
Speaking of Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. Not my favorite Alice Cooper album. I prefer, but again, it's all like School's Out is about school, but it's not a concept album about. It's all a loosely based theme. Goes to Hell is like the apparently part 2, but then he goes and makes Welcome to My Nightmare, which I think is brilliant, by the way. But yeah, Welcome to My Nightmare is another good honorable mention. And last but not least, just for you, Kevin, Styx Kilroy was here. You're absolutely right. Everybody seems to hate it, except you and I, apparently, Kevin. But
Right.
this, it holds a big part in my heart there. Like I don't know. I love everything about this series, about, rock. It's, again, I don't know if you've ever seen the video for Quiet Riot's The Wild and the Young.
Yeah.
Kind of the same idea right there, where rock is banned. And then, of course, you got Kilroy, which is anyway, same thing there, same concept there. So anyway, Kilroy was here. My last honorable mention.
Well, that was like what introduced me to Styx. Really, they had
Same here.
they had a couple songs that I probably had heard before, but that was the one that really like, oh, I like Styx, and
Yeah.
and then so I don't know why people didn't like it. I mean, it seems.
I think it's because, people that are older than you and I, Kevin, grew up with the 70s stuff, I guess. And this was
Yeah.
considered I guess, sellout or flop. I don't know. But I grew up learning about Styx because of this album.
Right.
Yeah. So there you go.
There you go.
All right. Anything else to add, guys?
No, I think we're good.
Me being Canadian, I have a fucking hockey game to go watch right now. But anyway.
You're pulling for the wrong team, though.
Oh my God. By the way, you're not helping on Facebook, by the way. I'm just saying, for my rants on Facebook there, you are not helping. Or you are not helping, whatever the fuck this is going to be. But
I'm sorry. I just,
yes, I know.
I feel like I need to antagonize you.
Yeah, it's not working. Yeah, well, it's working, that part. Yeah, if that's your point. Yeah, it's working. All right. Again, Attack from Down Under, right there. Rock and Metal Invasion, Sonic Boom, wherever it's going to be.
Go
Don't
Pain!
forget to go check out their channels. Very good stuff on there. Once again, if you have an idea for what topic you would like us to... I should say this at the beginning, by the way. But whatever, just thinking of it now.
You're watching now, right?
Who's still watching an hour and a half later?
No one's still watching.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we shall see you guys next episode. Take care, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.